What is up, you mortgage world? Hope you had a fantastic weekend last weekend. I'm sure it will only be trumped by how fantastic a week you are about to have. My name is Sean Grapevine. I am the co-host of the Monday Market Update. I'm the director of Agent Direct, and I'm coming to you live from our studios here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm joined today by a man who, as Ben Bell is to manual underwrites on manufactured home, so is my co-host to steadying our ship in turgid and tempestuous 10-year seas. He's as much a staple to UMortgage as Nicole Perino is to open houses in the Philadelphia metro area, ever reminding agents that they can run, but they can't hide. In the same way, our co-host reminds Bips that they are, in fact, his bidding doers. The man who talks to his Bloomberg terminal in the same caring way Todd Bitter talks to the least of us LOs, myself included, coaxing pricing exceptions from wholesale lock desks the world over in a way not unlike Sam Abazari coaxes the full potential from each and every person he coaches. He's the Baron of Bips, the Lord of the Locks, the king of collateralized debt, the Colossus of credit. He is the awesome Austin Koenig. Welcome, Austin.
Wow, Sean, thanks for that intro. That was that almost went above PG. We had a scary moment there, but hey, great save. That was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to do kind of a who's who of the all-stars of UMortgage and just change it up a little bit,
Oh yeah, I love it. A lot of good shout outs, all deserving. I love to be in the same light as those people, so appreciate that.
How was your weekend? What was your favorite thing you did this weekend?
Favorite thing, I'd actually say Saturday was an amazing day here in Philly. It's one of those like intro to fall weather days. Early chill morning and then 75 sunny for most of the day. It's absolutely gorgeous. So went on a hike and played a little tennis actually. So wife and I are trying to get into tennis. Maybe it's a little
nice
post US Open fever, I guess, but
yeah, Austin Koenig, the Coco Gauff of Philadelphia. I can't believe it. Well, that sounds amazing. So, well, tell us. You told us what you did last week or last weekend. Tell us what the market did last week. What is there to know? Good news, bad news, all of it.
Yeah, so I would say that this past week was not too eventful in the positive manner. Like, we had CPI come out, right? But we also had PPI. There wasn't any inflationary data that was super severe to where we need to ramp up rate hikes very quickly or something like that. But nothing kind of suggested the flip side of, hey, we're going to have some rate cuts anytime soon. There was no relief, I guess, given by any of the data. So we saw, one of the things that's been kind of continuously happening is, oil is getting more and more expensive. You probably have noticed it at the pump as well. But, oil's, approaching $95 a barrel, kind of hitting, pretty high levels because of supply issues. And so that obviously is something that gets directly input into a lot of consumer prices, as well as, what you, if you're looking to buy a flight, airlines, they have to use gas, you're using gas, to commute to work or wherever, right? So there's a lot of things that kind of, are trickle down effects in terms of pricing pressures, none of which the Fed can really control too much, but, it's not great for the headline number. Additionally, we have a Fed meeting this week, so we're kind of quiet on the Western Front in terms of Fed speakers until we get that stuff on Wednesday afternoon. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of positioning in terms of what everyone's kind of looking to 2024. It seems like a little bit. Everyone's kind of trying to position and make their predictions of what's going to happen. Especially as this fourth quarter rolls on, is what's going to happen. With growth and inflation and just general Fed policy. So it's a lot of
they could buy a bond or two while they're waiting around till next year. Just hey
think,
guys,
right?
it's like the war bond movement in during World War II. It's like everybody do their part, buy a mortgage bond, let's drive up demand a little bit, let's get those prices up, let's get those rates down. Unfortunately, nobody's doing their part. Patriotism in this respect is dead. Nobody thinks of their loan originator on the front line when they're trying to decide what to do with their savings. So
Mm-mm.
uh, pity for us. So we've got the Fed meeting coming up. I mean, well, before we get to that, CPI looked pretty good. I mean, CPI itself maybe didn't look great, but core looked really favorable. Looked better than expectations. It was good enough for like a 2 basis point improvement on the 10-year before it just retreated another 10.
Evaporated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So um, I mean, it doesn't seem there's no avenue to good news in this market until we see unemployment really go up, until we see job numbers hit negative growth, whatever that's called. What's the opposite of growth?
Uh,
You know,
Shrinkage,
reduction.
reduction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, reduction in workforce. Um, which doesn't look like it's really on the horizon, or until we get a new GDP reading that's in the negatives, which doesn't look like it's on the horizon. Uh, there doesn't seem to be anything indicating that this slow trickle upward is going to abate, and if it does, the best case scenario is a sort of status quo. Is that about right? Not to be too down? Hey, look, we're still setting records over in Agent Direct. Our loan officers are locking more loans and closing more loans than they ever have before. So I'm not one to complain. I like a little, as I said in my intro, turgidity and tempestuousness. But is my analysis right? Like there's no path to good news here anytime soon.
Yeah, I'd say don't hold your breath is kind of the way I look at it as well. You're in the same boat as I am. It's there's we can have good news, of course, but the Fed is going to take a wait and see approach to anything. Like that's been very clear. So even if you get one blip of good news, like we actually saw that earlier this month, we saw unemployment rate go up, and we consider that good news, right?
Yeah, but
Uh,
it was like fake unemployment. It was just because like more people entered the workforce, and we still created a bunch of
Correct.
jobs.
And so at the end of the day, that actually is a good thing too, because that's something that COVID kind of artificially reduced, was the labor participation rate went down. And so one thing we want to see those people is come back to the job market, but also like see less jobs available. We've seen job availability tick down, but still there's still employers still want people to for certain positions, and there's still a lot of job openings out there, but it's just a matter of who's qualified or skilled for those positions, entering back in the workforce and all that good stuff. It takes time to figure this out, and just as long as those jobs are not creating wage inflation pressure, I think we're still in a good spot for like kind of a steady growth. But it's it's one of those things where there's a lot of different dynamics at play, and um, I don't really see the good news like you're saying. Like it's right around the corner. Like I'm not saying, hey, the next inflation print is going to be the one. You're completely right about core inflation. We saw the trickling down of some of the restrictive effects that we've wanted to see, like on rent growth and all that sort of thing. Like that's actually starting to finally come into the data. It takes time. That's how economics really works. It is not immediate. We, I think one of the things that we can obviously see is, when if you're a landlord and you have your property that you want to rent out, if the Fed hikes rates, it's not like you're going to say, you know what, I actually don't think I will
Right.
rent it at
Let
this
me dr-
price.
let me drop
It
my
takes
price.
time.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. So
yeah.
it
Yeah.
takes time.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of lenders and a lot of loan officers are getting found out, obviously, and I'm here for that. I want the cream to rise to the top. I want the cream to be here at UMortgage, and we're really seeing that. Although we could all stand some lower rates, that would be great. But if I just I look back at people who I think it was a different market. I look back at people who made it through 2008, right? And it's like they stuck it out, and on the other side of that was a rip roaring bull market that lasted 10 years, that had rates dropping by an average of a quarter point per year for 10, 13 years. And from 2010 to 2021 was possibly the best time to be in the market, at least for those who are responsible loan originators. So I don't mind, tighten the belt in lean times and getting feisty and tripling my work to maintain my, the same pipeline, especially when I know that like when the mist clears and the storm goes away, it's like we're gonna be looking around at our fellow victors, not unlike Katniss Everdeen in the second uh, Hunger Games,
Hunger
which I just
Games.
watched. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited about. I'm excited about the prequel that's coming out. Anyway, so speaking of Hunger Games, we have the Fed meeting on Wednesday, and like kind of as we just mentioned, no path to good news, no path to bad news there really. I mean, we're kind of expecting, hey, we're not going to raise rates. Hey, we've got absolutely no plans to lower rates, and you guys need to get used to this, and I'm sure they'll also say, if inflation continues to rise, we have no issues continuing to raise rates, but we don't expect to have to do that. Is that kind of what we're thinking?
that's exactly it, and just kind of clarifying the rhetoric of what the market should be looking at and digesting, and it might give some fuel to new bets that the market movers are going to want to make possibly. But at the end of the day, I think there's going to be just a lot of the emphasis is all in the press conference, getting a new perspective of how the Fed has digested this data that's come out, and how they want to move forward. That's really what we want, is clarity. If we can even get that. I think the Fed's been pretty transparent, but they obviously cannot put all their cards on the table at the same time. I get it.
Right.
That's how it works.
They can't be honest because investors are not responsible with transparency.
They can't walk back comments if they're wrong,
Yeah.
right? So it's
Mhm.
like it's better to be vague, and so you're able to pivot rather than, yeah, I think this is like, kind of predicting a date, like, hey, May 10th, this is going to happen. This is not going to. That's not what the Fed can do.
100%. So, as far as actionable items here, obviously, UMortgage, we get a broad width of wholesale investors, so that we have as much access to competition and products as possible. As discussed last week, it looks like we may be continuing to add to that competitive basket of investors here in the next few days.
Yeah. So we actually have actually in less than an hour, I'm having a training with our lock test team on the loan store. Ops is actually getting on a training at 1 tomorrow. So we're going to get full integrated into the loan store, roll them out. And excited to kind of talk about them on some of the. I think we have them on the Friday sales huddle. So pretty much a big rollout is happening at the end of the week or early on Monday of next week. But I think it's just more so like, hey, we want to make sure the ops team is fully got all the resources there before you get start submitting loans. But another lender to offer very competitive products. They have some great products in their suite. So I'm looking forward to working with them, and they're familiar faces too. So it's exciting, and I think it's a nice little additional notch in our tool belt to use.
And they're pretty like FHA conventional VA, kind of like competitive on a broad array of typical loans. Do they
Yep.
have anything interesting, exotic?
I would say they have obviously another HELOC option that we'll be able to add as well. I think they have some other things that are unique. Um, they'll kind of talk about that a little bit more on the Friday sales huddle. So kind of a plug for that, you all to tune into that. Don't want to kind of reveal all the secrets on here, but just kind of giving a little teaser before the Friday sales huddle where Phil and the team will be able to talk some more on that.
Wow, wow! Look at this! Look at the showbiz knowledge that we've really gained over the last year
Oh
of
yeah,
doing. I think we must officially be at a year. Next year we'll celebrate our 1 year anniversary, whether or not it's true or not.
there we go. Let's do it.
I'll wear a party hat. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. As usual, hope that gives you some insight into where we were last week, where we're going this week, and all the weeks to come, and how we as loan officers can contextualize this for our agent friends. And I think the real lesson here is resilience, right? Like this is that there's nobody denying that the 10-year really is at 4.35, and that has an effect on homeownership, that has an effect on rates, that has an effect affordability, but we can point back to only 15 years ago when things were, similarly as hard, and point at the success stories, like a Todd Bitter or something that came from that, you know pain, right? And when the mist clears and the storm goes away, we will reign supreme. If we don't already. So hope everybody has a great week, and let Austin or myself know if you have any questions about the market, anything you want us to address on future calls. Other than that, let's go get some loans. Thanks, Austin.
Let's do it. Thanks, everyone.
Have a great day.